Well, students, we're going to keep working on these portraits of you and your mom or your dad, showing what you like to do for fun. So if you still need to draw something in there with pencil, if you forgot a cloud or you forgot, a zigzag line or something, or just a detail, you can finish that up with pencil. And then I will give everybody a marker. I would like you to outline everything with your marker carefully. I've already done the face, but most of you still need to do tracing on your eyes, nose, and mouth, and then your clothing, hair, all of that stuff. And then you'd work on the background as I am here. Now, if you miss a line, like if there's some pencil that you can still see, we'll just erase that. So I'm still doing it carefully, but if I miss a line, it's not a big deal because I can just erase it and change it. There are going to be some things that I want you to add crayon or color next to. There are some things that I don't want you to color, and so we're going to talk about those in a moment too. So I'm just going to check through my work. Looks like I've got it all traced. So now I'm just going to do a little bit of erasing. So if you see any pencil line, just erase it off of your paper. When this is done, I'm going to start adding color. Something that I don't want you to color is the face. So when I say that, that means that I don't want you to color the skin color. I'm going to try to figure out a way that it'll work for everybody to be able to paint the face color. So that's why I don't want you to paint your skin color. So I'm going to ask you that later. I'm going to say, what are we not coloring? Well, we're not coloring your skin color. We're going to try to paint that. So now that I've got this erased, brush it off and clean it off. And then let's check for things that I am going to color. So something that I am going to color is the eye color. Now, if your eyes are brown, I would do them brown. If your eyes are blue, do them blue. If they're green, do them green. But I'm only doing the circle, the inside of the eye. The edges are gonna stay white. So here, I'm gonna do that. My dad's eyes are also blue. And then when I'm done with that, I am going to do the lip color. So I'm gonna add a little bit of pink first. I'll do that on both. And then I'm going to add maybe a little bit of red. And then I'm going to add a little bit of this peach color. So mixing will help make things look more like observation. So I just use these three colors. So pink, red, and this peach. A few other things that you can do. I'm just going to add a little bit of a mix to my eye color too. I want you to be thinking this. I want you to think, if it's a line, I'm going to trace it. If it's a shape, I'm going to color it. So if it's a line, I'm going to trace it. This is a line, so I'm going to trace it. You can see I'm not coloring all over the face. Even though my skin is not brown, if I do trace it with a brown, it will stand out when we do paint it. So if it's a line, I'm going to trace it. That includes this line around the face. So brown really works the best. It is dark enough against maybe a lighter skin color, and it also works with a darker skin color. So here, got my lines. This is a line, so I'm going to trace it. And then my hair is brown. Some of you have hair that is black or blonde, and you'll probably have to do a mix of some kind to make it look real. So here, I've just used some of this brown, but now I'm going to add a little bit of black to it just to make it look a little bit darker in some spots. So I'll have some dark brown and I'll have some light brown to get a mix in here. So if you have black hair, you can mix black and brown, but you would just be using more black and less brown, where I'm using more brown and less black. I am going to take this light brown, this peach color too, that here, so you can see it. I want to add a little more brown to that corner, and then I can use that to fill this in. When I have all those white spots filled in, then I'm going to move down to my shirt. I'm going to do my shirt with blue, and if it's a shape, I'm going to color it. If it's a line, I'm going to trace it. So this here is a shape, so I'm going to color it in. The buttons are a shape, so I'm going to color it. This is a shape, so I'm going to color it. But then these lines here are lines, so I'm going to trace them. So lines, trace, shapes, color. Once you have you done, if you do want to do a mix on here, you may. You might do two different blues. Let's even do maybe a little bit darker one. So mixing is always one of my favorite things to do. Once I have this done, then I'm going to do my dad. So for his face, I would trace any of the lines that he has in his face. I would do his hair color and all of that stuff. We're gonna pretend that that's done so that you guys have a little more work time, but any of these lines I would trace, his eyebrows, and his hair is a little bit different than mine. So it is brown and it does have some black, but it also, he's a little bit older. He's a grandpa. I have 2 kids. So he has a little bit of gray in his hair. So I would include that into here too. So I'm gonna have to color this a little bit more carefully because you can still see there are some white spots in here. Trying to hold the crayon down pretty low so that I don't break it. And then I would add a little bit of black in here too, okay? His glasses are like a really dark blue, so that's a line that I would trace. So if it's a line, trace it. If it's a shape, color it. Now, we're gonna pretend that I did his shirt, okay? In the background, same idea is what we've been practicing. I would like you, if it's a line, trace it. If it's a shape, color it. So these are zigzag lines, so I'm just gonna trace them. But this tree is a shape, so I'm gonna color it. I'm gonna come back for mixing on this stuff because I'm realizing that I still have a lot to do, so I'll come back for mixing. I'm not gonna use all one color of green. This green, I'm gonna make it a little bit of a lighter green where the flag is. And often the flags are red to make them stand out against the green grass. And I'll do this tree too. So these are shapes, so I'm coloring them. These are lines, so I'm tracing them. This is a shape over here. So I'll color that in. And then this here is another shape. So I'll get that colored. And we probably won't get it all done today, so don't worry about getting it all finished. We will work on it more next time. So one thing that I also would not color, so we're not coloring the face color, but we're also not going to color all of the sky. I'm gonna see if we can figure out a way to paint that as well. So this is some sand, that's why I'm coloring it that color. And then I'd work on my golf bag and stuff, so we'll just pretend that that's done. The sky, you can find shapes and lines in the sky to do. So the wind, I'm gonna do a blue for my wind. And I am gonna color in my sun, but I'm not gonna color my sky color. So please do not color the sky. We're gonna try to do some painting on it. This is just even adding a little bit of a line around this just to make that stand out. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of a mix to my sun. So it's a yellow orange. I think that'll look nice. And if you do wanna add, I do think it's good to, even though the clouds are white, if you color them white, if we paint the sky, it's less likely to get covered up with paint. So I know you can't see this white, but it protects the white paper against any paint. So kind of press it on hard. And if you do want to add like a little bit of light blue or something to the bottoms of them, that can make them look like they're popping out. But I wouldn't color them all in with a color. I would color them in with white. So just kind of check them, make sure that they're pressed on well. And this is a line too, so I'm gonna trace that, okay? So a couple things that I just wanna go over. Make sure if it's a line, trace it. If it's a shape, then you're gonna need to color it. Don't color the skin color. Please don't color the sky. We'll talk about those for painting. All right, let's have fun.